Welcome to Jersey's Best Podcast, a weekly deep dive into everything that makes New Jersey spectacular, bizarre, beautiful, sometimes annoying, but always the best. My name is Jeremy Schneider. I'm a food and culture reporter for NJ.com and the Star Ledger, and I'm also your host. Real quick, a weekly reminder to send episode suggestions, guest ideas, and questions our way at jerseysbestpodcast@gmail.com and follow us at Jersey's Best Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Posting memes, TikToks, clips, funny stuff. If you like the podcast, you like that stuff, just follow us, please. I'm begging you. This week, Jersey's Best Podcast is going out for Italian food. Because while the Garden State's culinary riches are diverse and delicious, there is no type of cuisine New Jersey does better or loves more than Italian food. There are more than 1 million Italian Americans in New Jersey, and it feels like there are more than 1 million Italian restaurants here too. Old school spots serving up chicken savoy, polenta arrabbiata, and pillowy ravioli. New school spots specializing in spicy rigatoni, paper-thin chicken parm, and bolognese with garlic breadcrumbs. And everything in between. Which is why the illustrious NJ.com food team recently published its list of the 51 best Italian restaurants in New Jersey to universal acclaim and praise. Absolutely no one told us we missed their favorite spot, I promise. Joining me today to break down the Italian restaurant list and New Jersey's Italian obsession writ large is iconic NJ.com food writer Pete Genovese. Pete, welcome back to Jersey's Best Podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me back.
It is always a pleasure. It is one of my favorite things about Pete is not only talking food with him, but sometimes I go to an Italian restaurant, and when I walk in, I'm excited. I think they're going to be psyched to see me, and they go, "Where's Pete Genovese?" So,
yeah, and sometimes we talk about airlines and flight attendants.
A little behind the scenes podcasting.
We won't go into that.
Pete.
Yeah.
We talk about food for a living. We write about food for a living. We eat for a living. We eat a lot of Italian food. Why is New Jersey so obsessed with Italian food?
Well, I mean, it starts with Italians are the biggest ethnic group in New Jersey. What over 1 million, as you said?
I think I said 1.5 million.
Yeah, so it starts there, and it's. I think it's hard, or at least in my experience, you rarely get a bad Italian meal. I think that's where Italian maybe has the edge over others. Maybe I'm just being prejudicial because I'm Italian, obviously. So I think it's a bad Italian meal is just not a common occurrence. The tradition. I mean, good God. I mean, going back to the 20s and even before that, it's always been, at the baseline of our food culture, Italian food. And you can say the same thing for pizza. The world's most popular food is New Jersey's most popular food. So
New Jersey's best food, baby.
Yeah, pizza and Italian. I mean, if that didn't exist, if we were like Iowa or something, I mean, what would we be eating?
That's a very good question, and it kind of becomes a cliche, the whole gabagool over here thing. But no, there really is that much New Jersey Italian presence. I think it's an abundance thing. There are just so many Italian restaurants in New Jersey. I feel like you throw a wooden spoon in New Jersey, it's gonna land in some red sauce.
Yeah,
and with that abundance comes quality. I mean, it's hard to have that many restaurants of a certain genre and not have them be good. Some of them be good. And look, there are bad Italian restaurants in New Jersey. I think that the median level of Italian restaurant in this state is incredibly high. Yeah. Some would say the highest in the country. I am one of those people that would say that. But we have so many Italian restaurants. We have so many Italian Americans in New Jersey. It's in our blood. Our blood is marinara sauce, Look, for the record, I am not Italian. My name is Jeremy Schneider. I don't have a drop of Italian blood in my body, but I was recently told a podcast listener thought I was that Italian kid from Montclair, which massive compliment. All my friends got a kick out of that because I am famously not Italian, but Lord, do I love eating it. And I mean, who does? And that's the thing. I mean, it's comfort food. Who doesn't like Italian food? Like it's a very high floor food. And when's the last time? I mean, because like as a kid, like whether you're in New Jersey or whether you're in Iowa or whatever, you eat spaghetti because it's easy. And I mean, you could get jarred sauce if you're a heathen, or I don't know, you were me growing up. No. I ate plenty of jarred sauce growing up, but I did date my college girlfriend was Italian, and and she would look at me in disgust when I suggested busting out a jar of Prego or Classico or whatever.
Oh, Classico. That's what, I rank all the spaghetti sauces in the supermarket. Classico is number one.
I like Classico. I mean, at this point,
Prego.
no Prego. But what's funny is Prego is Italian for "you're welcome," right?
Yeah.
Grazie, Prego. Prego is not Prego in my house. But also, like, there's something so comforting about this stuff, dude. Like a Sunday sauce, which is, at this point, every Italian restaurant in the state says they make one, even if it's not Sunday, and yet it's delicious because it's a marinara sauce typically with braciole or meatballs or sausage or veal or whatever, and like that's comforting and delicious and
just
hard to get wrong.
Yeah, just don't mention the word Sunday gravy, please. Gravy is what you put on your mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving. That's gravy.
So it's sauce.
You go to Italy and mention the word gravy, they're not going to know what you're talking about. Well, they're going to bring out a turkey.
So
the word doesn't exist in Italian.
So you're squarely sauce, not gravy.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, a lot of restaurants, especially in New Jersey, they trumpet their whatever pasta with Sunday gravy. Like, stop it already. Gravy is what you put on your potatoes at Thanksgiving. Stop it. They're like faux Italian. I don't know where that word, like I said, you're not going to find it in Italy. Mm-hmm. The word is sucra, sauce, but gravy, stop with the gravy. Please, I'm begging you.
I don't disagree with you on that. I think it's interesting because there is a distinct difference between Italian food and Italian American food.
Oh, sure.
Like, many of the dishes we're going to discuss today are not things you would get in Italy. I think there's a scene in Sopranos where Paulie tries to order, the guys get macaroni and gravy. Yeah, that's not, you don't, if you like Italian American food, you're in for an awakening. I wouldn't say a rude awakening, but an awakening when you go to Italy.
Yeah, same goes for the pizza. Pizza is totally
Very
different. You're not going to find your New York style pizza with whatever. So yeah, Italian American, you have to really make that difference.
It is very different, and I think that's okay. I have a friend who I think she's Italian. I think she has Italian citizenship, and she scoffs at some restaurants in New Jersey. She said, "That's not Italian food." I'm like, well, yeah, it's not Italian food. It's Italian American food. Yeah. It's different, and that's okay because I love authentic dishes, but I also love chicken parm, and I know you might not, or you might think it's overrated. We'll talk about that later, but.
I mean, you could say that for a lot of cuisines in America that came over from the mother country. They've all gone through transformations and changes and Americanized. So it's not something peculiar to Italian food.
I love having Pete Genovese on this podcast because not only does it make me hungry, but it's a history lesson. Like, he contextualizes this stuff in such a way that makes me want to read more and eat more. But Pete, what is the hallmark of a good Italian restaurant? Like, is there like an essential thing that it needs to do, or is there like a checklist, or is there something when you walk into a restaurant you're like, yep, this is a good one?
Bread. Just kidding.
No. I mean,
bread is essential.
You gotta have good bread.
An Italian restaurant that doesn't have bread, what are you doing? Or has bread that came from a supermarket. Come on, give me real bread. Give me real, nice semolina loaf, something from a local bakery. Really important. Of course, some restaurants push it. They give you the bread, but not the butter. Like, how do you have bread without butter?
Well,
Spiritos
famously did not have butter.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Where's my butter? I mean, people would actually bring in butter, for their bread at Spiritos.
That's very funny.
But yeah, something you mentioned before, comfort food is nothing. I eat pasta, once or twice a week. I'm not eating it. I'm Italian. I'm not eating it every night of the week. But I like my pasta, and there is something about the noodles, whatever it is, whatever form it takes, ravioli, gnocchi, noodles, with a good red sauce. I'm all for red sauce. I mean, vodka sauce doesn't do anything for me. Other kinds of sauce. Arrabbiata, yes, because it's spicy, but a good red tart tomato sauce. I mean, that's just something tummy warming about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you're in a bad mood or not feeling well, there's something about a plate of pasta that, that a hamburger or French fries or fried
Comfort
chicken
food.
doesn't do.
Yeah.
Doesn't do.
One thing, we talk about sauce. One thing that restaurants do, even some of the good ones do this, and it drives me nuts, when they don't properly sauce their pasta. For me, if you're just taking some pasta and ladling the sauce over top and you're not properly mixing it up, you have uneven distribution of the sauce. I don't think it looks as good, and it definitely doesn't taste as good. So when I make pasta at home, and that's a whole other thing about this, that a lot of these things you can make. I mean, making a sauce at home, even if it's a simple sauce, is so fun, and your whole house smells like tomatoes. But when I'm making pasta at home, I'm mixing the sauce with the pasta, a little bit of pasta water too, the starchy stuff, so it binds to the noodle nicely. So if you bring out a platter of spaghetti to me and it's just like a dollop of sauce on top, I'm like, what do we do? You're making me do the work, mixing it all up and stuff. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm lazy. I don't know. Either way, real quickly, Pete or Dwayne, can you hear me? Okay. All right, cool. Because I'm not hearing myself. I just a tiny bit more would be good. Just a tiny bit. That's much better. Yeah. I didn't do anything. Okay, cool. I'm not blaming you. James, you can cut all that. We were just doing a little technical stuff. Cool. Well, I think we touched on that stuff nicely, Pete. I'm going to jump into us breaking down the list. All right, Pete, let's start breaking down this list that we tirelessly... Pete, we worked very, very hard on this list, the 51 best Italian restaurants in New Jersey. It sounds like fun. It is fun, but it's a lot of work because there are a lot of Italian restaurants to go to, and we did it. We're not going to...
Let's make it clear. Like, all our lists and rankings, we actually go to the places. I mean, you go on the internet right now and you type best Italian restaurants in New Jersey, you're going to get lists where it's clear the source, they haven't actually been to that restaurant, or most of the restaurants. You can just tell because language lifted right from the website or Facebook page. We don't write about places that we haven't been to.
We keep it real here at NJ.com. That's where we're the best food team in the country, maybe the world. Haven't done enough research for that one yet. We're not going to go through the entire 51 list because, as fun as that would be, we would be here literally all night. But we're going to go through some highlights, and then we're going to analyze the top 10. Kind of the same thing we did with the pizza list. That was a lot of fun. You guys seem to like that one. So, Pete, let's go down the list a little bit. At number 47, we had Vic's Italian Restaurant in Bradley Beach, which I wanted to talk about specifically because, yes, we talk about the pizza at Vic's plenty, but it is Vic's Italian American Restaurant for a reason. The chicken parm I had at this spot was absolutely fantastic. I know you're talking to you about Vic's is I mean that's going to be fun. I know you're a big fan as well.
Yeah, I was talking to my Uber driver this morning at shore restaurants. We both live down the shore, and she brought up, Pete and Elda's is one of her favorite places, and I immediately jumped in. I said I like Vic's better. She said, "Yeah, it's okay, but Pete and Elda's I think is overrated." But that's first time I've ever said that.
Not on this podcast.
But Vic's is like the 70s atmosphere. It's with the wooden booths,
wood paneling,
and just simple classic dishes. They don't do anything. It's not fancy. You're not gonna. It's not like Cafe 2825 or Scalini Fedeli. It's not on that level. Just simple. The shrimp scampi is really good. I mean, simple dish, spaghetti and shrimp.
I was blown away by the
sauce. But it's just this great old-time atmosphere. I was surprised nobody, maybe someone has, filmed something there because it just screams 70s.
Oh, yeah.
It started in the late 40s, but it's just got this great, ineffable 70s look to it.
The Springsteen movie could have filmed the scene there if they wanted. I'm sure Bruce Springsteen has had a meal or two at Vic's.
Right.
And I agree with you completely. I mean, the pizza's great there, but and for the record, this is not a pizza list. Like spots that are just pizzerias we're not applicable for this list. Right. So Vic's, when we're talking about putting Vic's on this list, we're not just talking about the pizza. We're talking about the pasta. We're talking about the shrimp scampi. I'm talking about the chicken parm, which I love so much. They have fried ravioli there, which is really more of like a Midwestern thing, actually. Yeah. When I think fried ravioli, I think like St. Louis, but absolutely delicious.
Not a fan of fried ravioli.
Really? Laura Braun.
Why should you? I want to taste the cheese, the creaminess, the cheese, and the pasta, and the fried sort of takes away from a lot of that.
Lord Braun, friend of the podcast, owner of Cardinal and Mabel, put me up on the fried rav. I know it's polarizing. I know it's not authentic Italian American even, but it's delicious for me. Number 31 on the list, cutting down a little bit, De Palma Brothers in North Bergen. Pete, have you been to De Palma Brothers?
No, one of these days.
Oh, but De Palma Brothers.
I know you're a big fan.
It's an experience. It's one, and look, so many of these restaurants, the food is good and the experience is great. Because De Palma Brothers isn't just an Italian restaurant; it is also an antique store. And it's not like, oh, here's the restaurant, here's the antique store. It's all together. As you're eating these massive platters of stuffed shells and chicken parm and ravioli and broccoli rabe and cavatelli, you're also surrounded by like mannequins wearing vintage clothing and weird jewelry. And there's like crazy furniture and lamps and stuff on the like in the background. And not only can you buy the food, but you can buy the stuff. Like that's it is a full like experience, like a full retail culinary experience. The platters here, the serving sizes, insanity. And my friends once made the mistake. They didn't realize how big the serving sizes were here. And they ordered like way too much, and like, one platter came out, and they're like, "Yeah, this is just one order for one person. You got 10 of these coming." It's a great spot for like a holiday dinner. It's like very quintessential New Jersey Italian experience because of the surroundings, because of the amount of food you're being served. Don't be afraid to go home with leftovers when you go here because it's excessive and delicious. Number 26 is one of the newer spots on this list, Fanny's in Bloomfield, which this place came to my attention because Chef Jonathan, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. Hold up. I'm going to Google this and make sure. Kavarakis? Yep. This place got my attention because Chef Jonathan Kavarakis, he also owns the Brookdale, which is down the street, and they have a 1 pound mozzarella stick that once almost killed me. I did a story about that. I went to Fanny's when we were doing our chicken parm list because that was a lot of fun. Their chicken parm was the best new chicken parm I had for this list. It's saucy, it's tender. It was another hefty portion, but everything I had here was really, really good. The pasta was insane. I'm pretty over vodka sauce at this point, but their vodka sauce changed my mind. I was like, all right, like maybe I need to give this thing more of a chance because it was that good. The Caesar salad was great, and they also have a bakery there, and their baked goods, phenomenal. The tiramisu was insane. I was so stuffed after I had Fanny's. If you're in, and it's cool because it's a stretch in Bloomfield, not that far from Holston's, and it's a stretch that's been pretty like there's been a lot of turnover, but it seems like the Brookdale and Fanny's has finally laid claim and is gonna in there for the long haul. So that if you're in Bloomfield, definitely check that out. One of the best new school spots on the list. Number 25 on the list, Pete. This is one of your spots, Augustino's in Hoboken. I have not had the pleasure of getting a table here yet because it's hard to get a table.
It's a small place, yeah.
What can you tell me about Augustino's?
Well, we've done lists for all the best 11 best restaurants in Hoboken, Morristown, Jersey City, Atlantic City, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I didn't do Hoboken, but if I did, they might be number one on my list.
Really?
Because it's the classic Italian dishes, and especially the pork chops, which are just like, if I had 10 best meat dishes of the past decade, those pork chops would be on it. So gigantic, laden with peppers and onions and all kinds of things, but the meat itself is just perfectly cooked. So we did this Best Italian Restaurant Showdown almost 10 years ago. And so, started with 50 restaurants. I visited all 50. I picked 10 finalists, and I visited all those 10, and including Augustino's. So we announced the winner one night, and I heard a couple of days later that on that night that we were announcing, showing up at the winner, which was broadcast live, Governor Christie and John Bon Jovi were there. That's obviously maybe expecting us to show up. But why would they be there that particular night?
How convenient.
Yeah.
John Bon Jovi reads the Star Ledger. That's proof.
Just happened to be. Yeah, I think they might have been a little disappointed. But top 10 Italian restaurant. They were high on our. Maybe should have been higher, 25. Yeah, maybe should have been higher because again they were one of the 10 finalists. But that pork chop, proof that not Italian doesn't mean pasta. Always mean pasta. You get a good pork chop, veal chop, chicken parm, etc.
I love Hoboken as a food town. I'm my my opinions of Hoboken are well documented on this podcast. I have a conflicting relationship, but there are really good restaurants in Hoboken. I've had some very good Italian meals there. Some of them on this list, but Augustino's very high on my list of places I need to check out. Excited to get there at some point. Cash only, right?
Yeah, and we need to do we've been talking about this for a couple of years, our Ultimate Hoboken Pizza Crawl. There are like 40 pizzerias in Hoboken. You spend 2 or 3 days going to every single one and then pick the best.
That would be so much fun. At this point, maybe we could tell people we're doing it. They could tag along. That would be a lot of fun. Next spot on the list we're going to feature, not far from Augustino's, but a little south in Greenville in Jersey City. We're talking about Laco's. Laco's, an old school gem in the southern section of Jersey City. If you're going to, man, what can I say about Laco's that hasn't already been said? I mean, they're famous for their chicken parm, but when I think Laco's, the chicken parm is as good as everyone says. It's one of the best in the state, but it is just such an essential dining experience because it is the prototypical, and I mean that in a complimentary way, prototypical Italian red sauce joint. The brick walls, the white tablecloths, the giant bowl of salad with vinaigrette. My freaking, I thought I muted that thing. The big bowl of salad with Italian vinaigrette and a giant thing of bread to dip with it. And just a meal of massive platters of chicken parm and manicotti and they have good pizza, but you're going there for the chicken parm and the pork chop parm, which is not something you see too often. Bone in, which is lovely. Pete, what are your thoughts on Laco's?
First of all, it's Menegot.
See, every time we do this,
Cavadil, not Cavatelli. Just here to help.
No. I appreciate it. I'm learning from a true Italian. So every time Pete comes to the podcast, I get a history lesson and I get an Italian lesson. Even if we're not talking about Italian food, but we are today. But Laco's it's a gem. The parking is rough.
It's a street of houses.
Yes,
you sort of have to look out for it.
Very much in the cut. And there's a lot of great restaurants in Jersey City. I don't think Laco's is like the best, but it's one of
it's a classic.
It's an absolute classic, and it's just it's been open since 1972. It's just that real classic. What do you have in vibe when and well dressed waiters and waitresses, well dressed salads, and well fed customers. Number 19 is a spot for Pete Scalini. How do you pronounce this?
Scalini Fedeli.
Scalini Fedeli in Chatham, and this place has been on a bunch of lists. We've written about it a few times, but I have not been there yet. What can you tell us?
Well, it's sort of more upscale. You don't have to get dressed up, but it sort of has this sort of hushed, dreamy atmosphere to it. I mentioned on our list that it's a great spot for that Italian power lunch.
What's that?
What's that?
What's an Italian power lunch?
Well, power lunch is a common expression. So it's where you have the high, a meeting of the minds over a particular issue. You're the mayor, you're a businessman, you're this or that. That's a power lunch. So Italian power lunch. If it's not a thing, maybe it will be soon. My favorite dish there, the spaghetti arrabbiata. That's spicy. Nothing like a little spice in your life. They do a little buffalo mozzarella. It's not easy to find buffalo mozz. Creamy perfection. But again, it's not a place you're going to walk in a pair of shorts.
No, it's a special occasion spot, right?
Yeah.
It was actually
for your power lunch.
Actually, but the Daily Meal back in 2019. Wow, this is one of my early food writing days. The Daily Meal named it one of the best restaurants. I think they named it the best in the state for a special occasion.
Nope.
It's in a mid-1700s farmhouse.
Yeah, it's in a house.
You can't really beat that ambiance. Italian food in a
sort of
farmhouse.
Hushed atmosphere to it, hushed, classy, stately atmosphere, but not too ornate. It's sort of
not over the top.
No.
Gotcha. Number 14 is another special occasion spot that I've been dying to get to, Pete. What can you tell us about Chef Vola's in Atlantic City?
Which is probably the toughest table to get in Atlantic City. It's not impossible. People make it out to be, oh, you got to wait months and months. No, you don't. Just know somebody. You can't make. They have no website. For starters,
Amazing.
No website, no Facebook page. For the Italian restaurants, that is a rarity. So you call up, you give your name, and make a reservation that way. And if they will fit you in at some point. They take it down. They'll call you back.
But don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah, there's no email. They're not going to email you. There's no website. You can't make a reservation online. You have to call them, give your name, leave your number, and give a date. And hopefully they'll get back. They will get back to you. Like I said, it's a tough table, but it's not impossible.
What's the vibe like in there?
What's that?
What's the vibe like in there?
It's very, the tables are almost on top of each other. It's like sitting in somebody's, you walk down a few steps, something like sitting in somebody's, I won't say basement, den or whatever.
But it is like it's in a house, right?
Yeah. So there's an upstairs outside deck and the main dining room. The tables are on top of each other. Mm-hmm. So you're going to hear every word of your next door neighbor's conversation. It's really, again, one of a kind place. The waitresses are a trip. I remember the last time I was there, I forget her name, but she recited basically everything on the menu and all the specials. Just went down. I said, sure you didn't miss any? I mean, and imagine doing that to like hundreds of patrons every night.
We talk about what makes a good Italian restaurant. If the waitress or waiter is reciting the whole menu without looking at their paper, without reading something, I don't care what they're serving. Give me everything. It's gonna be good. I want. Give me that. I want that. That sounds like an essential Atlantic City dining experience that I need to have next time I'm in an AC. But the veal parm is their calling card, right?
Outrageous. On the bone, yeah. Outrageous.
On the bone.
Yeah, and waitress, that's a very, because you run into waitresses more than waiters. And that makes a big difference, if you're just greeted at the door with over here, what effort does it take to say, how you doing? Oh, was your first time here? Oh, hi, Ginny, you back again. I remember when I just got back from Daytona road trip, so I went to take out an Italian restaurant. So I walk in and I said, I want a place to take out, and the older woman there says, we're really busy, and she walks away. She just walks away. Okay.
Hey,
is that an answer?
Enough said.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. And unfortunately, there was a younger waitress, and she came up to me a few minutes later, and she couldn't have been nicer. Took my order, came back, 45 minutes, and it was there. But we're really busy, and walks away. Okay. And it wasn't. Place was half full, maybe.
Oh, well, maybe she was busy. Which will lead me to my next something I probably haven't said enough on this podcast. Tip your waiters and waitresses. Tip them well, even if the service is a little rough. You have no idea what's going on. It is one of the hardest jobs in the world. I firmly believe everyone. If you go out to a restaurant, you should have to have eaten, or you should have to have worked at a restaurant previously to get the full experience, to understand what you're getting into, because it is so hard working in the restaurant industry, which is another reason I love eating out so much, because and writing about it, because it's such a cool experience and such a cool field. Pete, we're down to the top 10 of the list. We're going to break down every list. We're going to break down every restaurant in the top 10. These are the 10 best Italian restaurants in New Jersey. That is the cream of the crop. Not the creme de la creme, because that's French, whatever the phrase would be in Italian. And are you ready?
Always ready.
Number 10 is ITA 101 in Medford.
Medford, one of the more charming small towns in New Jersey. Definitely go down. It's not far away from anywhere. But the owner, Kevin Maher, Medford native, spent time in Italy learning his craft, comes back, opens up his Main Street restaurant, 10 years ago, maybe more. One of the 10 finalists in our Best Italian Restaurant Showdown some years back. But he changes. What's different and key about him, he always changes. He patterns his dishes to different regions of Italy, and the menu always changes. So it's not the same old ravioli and fettuccine and whatever. That it's a creative menu, and he does things different. The taglioni fungi. I love my mushrooms. They make the tiramisu table side, which is great.
Tableside tiramisu. How does that? I've heard of this. I've never had it.
Yeah.
How does that work? How do they do it?
Well, they take it's the making of the tiramisu in the kitchen. They just do it table side. I kind of forget all the exact
It's
steps.
like lady fingers that are soaked in espresso, and then the cream and whatever it is. I want it. I know what I want for dessert tonight.
Yeah, that isn't a TikTok sensation. I don't know what is. Put that. I'm almost tempted to go down there tomorrow and do a TikTok or a video because it's really it's a small place, but again they were one of the 10 finalists in our best Italian restaurant showdown. And my favorite dish, the cacio e pepe. You can't get, pepper, pasta, and pecorino, like three of my favorite things. Put them all together, please.
I'm so glad that cacio e pepe. Well, I'm glad cacio e pepe has exploded because it's easier to get, but I also think there's a lot of mediocre cacio e pepe out there now, but this is not one of them. So I also, one thing you mentioned that their menu changed a lot. And that's interesting because I think a lot of there's this dichotomy. You have some Italian restaurants that have had the same menu for 50 years.
Yeah, those are your like neighborhood Italian restaurants.
And that's cool. I respect that because if you're still open with the same menu, you're doing something right. But I also love when I see a spot like Cordo in Jersey City that's constantly seasonal, constantly changing their restaurant, and they're changing their menu. And it seems that that's what's happening here at ITA 101.
Yeah. And Medford, again, Medford's a destination, a couple breweries there if you're so inclined. Just a really sort of picturesque main street.
Number 9 is a spot that I wrote about, Pete. Flower in Hoboken. And let me tell you, I sometimes find myself exhausted with Italian restaurant recommendations just because every time we get a new one, I'm like, do we really need more? We have so many in this state. We have so many good ones that when I'm often hesitant to go try the new spot because I know I like the old spot. You know what I mean? I'm a young guy, but I have that old school feel to myself. But let me tell you, enough people recommended Flower to me that I was like, in Hoboken, I was like, fine, I gotta go check it out. The menu was pretty minimal. The decor was dark and minimal. I was like, this seems like a bunch of different restaurants. I don't know if this is gonna impress me. I had one bite of the Mexican street corn agnolotti, and my goodness, Pete, that was amazing. The spicy Caesar was incredible. The steak, which I don't think of as necessarily like a steak or an Italian staple, but it was perfectly cooked, medium rare. The semifreddo dessert was insane. This is and another restaurant that has kind of reignited my appreciation for spicy rigatoni. Flower in Hoboken is, in my opinion, right up there for the best like new school Italian restaurants in New Jersey. Hence number 9. It was
explain so people will see Mexican street corn agnolotti. Like, is that a Mexican dish? Explain.
Kind of. So it's basically agnolotti is. I mean, it's a pasta that like for the uninitiated, and I'm kind of spitballing this one because I know it when I see it. I don't know what it is. It's similar to it's a filled pasta.
Yeah.
And
it's like ravioli.
It's like ravioli, and it's filled with like a sweet corn filling and a lot of pepper. And so I went there like early summer, so it was corn season, and it was fresh and phenomenal. And I appreciate a spot that's going to keep it as like kind of down the middle of spicy rig, but then also put Mexican street corn in their pasta. So if you're in Hoboken, it's a tough table to get. I heard the pizza's really good. I've not had a chance to try it yet, but I am excited to get there at some point. Flower in Hoboken. Thank you for restoring my faith in new Italian restaurants. Pete, number 8 is a spot you've been raving about for as long as I've been on this team. Lunello in Cedar Grove. My parents live not that far from it, so I've been a few times. What are your thoughts on Lunello?
Well, upscale, maybe one of the more upscale Italian restaurants in New Jersey, but it got its claim. I mean, it's been around forever. They had their reputation, but their true claim to fame is when Teresa Giudice flipped over a table in one episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey. And props to the restaurant for allowing them to shoot it.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny. And so I did a video of me recreating the scene. It's obviously nowhere as good as a professional, but they let me flip over a table with breaking glasses left and right. That was pretty funny. You can look it up. My name and Lunello breaking recreating Real Housewives of New Jersey. It was a pretty funny video.
Real Housewives.
I wish I had more time to rehearse my lines because I had to say things. But anyway, the lasagna, ravioli, gnocchi, and they do sort of out of the quail. I mean that's not
quail.
an Italian dish. Duck burlée, which is like a confit style duck leg. So it's not just your usual red sauce standards. One of my favorite thing, probably linguine with clam sauce. Again, a simple dish, a classic dish, just done perfectly. And their desserts how many Italian restaurants rave about their desserts?
All of them.
And if they have desserts, they're usually not homemade, right? But they're white chocolate bread pudding. Doesn't that just sound ravishing?
I want that.
You've got to order that.
I should not have done this podcast on an empty stomach. This is killing me. And I got appreciation for the fact that it's in Cedar Grove. You'll notice that we have not mentioned a Montclair restaurant yet. Love Montclair food, but their Cedar Grove is the
stand in for.
Cedar Grove not getting doesn't get the attention of Montclair, and it's not as good a food town. But Lunello is an absolute standout in that Essex County corner. Number 7 down in South Jersey, we got Zeppeli in Collingswood.
Yeah, always probably regarded outside of Cheval and Cafe 2825, generally regarded as the best Italian restaurant in South Jersey. The owner, Joey Baldino, James Beard, finalist. One of these days he's going to win it. But they were on our list of the best Italian dishes, which you look up. Just dishes, not restaurants. The rigatoni alla disgraziata. Small place, reservations not easy to get to. It's part of it's not a standalone restaurant. It's sort of part of a series of shops. But that might be the best antipasto in New Jersey. Antipasto Siciliano. It's got cured meats, cheeses, peppers, got everything. That would be my, if I was taking the antipasta, my last meal, that might be a good choice for that. Give me that antipasta. Forget the pasta. I'm gonna go antipasta. Collingswood.
Collingswood is one of the best food towns in South Jersey.
Absolutely.
Zeppeli's been on my list forever. A place I've been meaning to get to, but it's a tough reservation to get, and it's a long drive from North Jersey. But I will get there soon. I promise.
Right off 295 in the turnpike. Please don't give me this. It's a long drive.
Hey, I'm saying I want to go. Number 6 is a spot I've been a few times, and it is. Man, it's just one of those places you got to get to if you love New Jersey food. Number 6, Belmont Tavern in Belleville. It's one of a kind. It is such a throwback. It is like stepping into, I'd say, a time machine, or like stepping into a scene in Goodfellas with the dimly lit string lights and all the wood paneling and the photos of famous people that have been there over the years. I'm pretty sure it's cash only. I'm pretty sure it's I know it's cash only because me and my buddies all had hit the ATM down the street last time we went. It is hard to get a table. They don't do reservations, so don't be surprised if you get there at opening and there's already a line. It's cramped. It's a small menu, but everything on that menu, pretty much everything hits real hard. I mean, if you're gonna have one thing at Belmont Tavern, you got to get the chicken savoy. It's so tangy and tart and well seasoned. People go crazy for the shrimp beeps. That's not my favorite thing there. Pete, how would you describe shrimp beeps?
It's shrimps, lightly breaded in like a spicy red sauce. But the chicken savoy, with the vinegar and the garlic together. And I've seen chicken savoy on Italian restaurant menus all over the state, but there's only one.
That's true. And if you're gonna go, and if you want chicken savoy, you gotta go here. I also really had a very good pork chop there last time I went, which was lovely. And I hear there's a secret dessert menu, but I have not cracked that code yet. So something about frozen yodels or something. I don't know. That might just be a Jersey rumor. Yeah. But number 5 is direct opposite. We went from old school to new school. The Pasta Shop in Denville. I've been singing this place's praises for quite some time. ever since I went there for the first time, I've been really floored by this spot. I think it's the culinary core of a up and coming Morris County food town, Denville. The thing about Pasta Shop, it's small. It's a pretty minimal menu. They don't have a ton. But as soon as you sit down, if you're able to get a table, because they also don't take reservations, it's a kind of put down your name and wait situation. But as soon as you sit down, they hand you a piece of pecorino romano just to nosh on. And it's such a silly little touch, but it makes such a difference. And every single thing I had on this menu, from the cherry pepper poppers to the chicken parm, which is we didn't put it number 1 on our chicken parm list, I don't think. It might have been. Hold up, we're gonna cut this and make sure.
It was high, but it was top 5 maybe.
I think let's pasta. Their chicken parm was number 2 on our list of chicken parms in the state.
Ooh,
It's the thinnest chicken parm I've ever had, and I think sometimes people misconstrue thinness with crispness. Like, it could be thin but not that crispy. This thing was a perfect cutlet, and it's served with a garlicky pasta, which I really you have the red sauce and the garlic pasta, which has this nice contrast. I've never really seen another restaurant doing that. The music there is really good. That's such a silly thing, but I had such a wonderful experience sonically and taste wise, and the service is so good. And they do this thing where they bring out a display case of the pastas for you to pick from, which is like, I've just never seen anything like that before. I mean, it's cool to see a spot, a new school spot, breaking new ground while paying homage to the old school. So if you can get up to Denville, highly recommend Pasta Shop. Pete, number 4 on the list is Angelica's in Seabright. This is another table that's incredibly difficult to get. Have you been able to?
I have not. No, that's on my list.
So recently, I was lucky enough to Bobby Olivier, friend of the pod / my boss. He said, "Hey, let's go out to dinner for work." I was like, "All right, great." And he threw out a few spots. And I said, let's go to Angelica's. He goes, there's no way we're getting a reservation at Angelica's. Because it's a pretty small space in Seabright. It's incredibly popular. But I put a notification on Resi, and I basically like, hey, like if a table opens up on Thursday night, I want it. And I got the notification, and Bobby's like, how did you do that? You're a magician. I said, nope, I'm a food writer for NJ.com, and I've never been to Angelica's, and I want to go. And man, you talk about restaurants where the waitstaff knows the whole menu. They got that. Everything is absolutely delicious. The Popolette Amelia, the meatballs, insane. I had a pasta dish that I don't even know what it's called. I would have to look it up, but it was basically like a bunch. It was like a spaghetti-ish pasta that was broiled with cheese, so it was like crispy. And I wanted leftovers so bad because I was like, I actually wasn't that hungry at that point in the meal. I couldn't stop eating it. It was that good. They do a vodka sauce that people rave about. I wasn't about to get vodka sauce at my first trip to Angelica's. We talk about the best restaurants in the state, not just Italian restaurants. Angelica's is certainly the discussion. I'm dying to get back. It's really hard to get a table. Resi hasn't hit for me yet. But if anyone wants to go to Angelica's, let me know. Really, really good. Number 3, DePaulo's. Actually, wait, real quick. I just want to say, I've talked to multiple restaurant owners down the shore, and they're not afraid to tell me if they don't like a spot or if they think a spot's overrated. I've had multiple restaurant owners tell me Angelica's is their favorite spot. It's your favorite restaurant's favorite restaurant, so check them out. Number 3, DePaulo's Italian Restaurant in Penns Grove. What can you tell me about that, Pete?
Well, Penns Grove, Salem County, which is pretty much totally ignored for. I mean, I think we don't pay it enough attention. So I was happy to put it on this list. Of course, Penns Grove, where Bruce Willis grew up, and DePaulo's the dumplings. I mean, I had them first time I had them maybe 5 years ago.
Gnocchi?
Like, what did I say?
You said they're dumplings.
Well, yeah, they are dumplings.
Yeah. I just wanted to say gnocchi.
Well, you did very A+ on that. So about 5 years ago, I had them for the first time, and I remember taking them out to my car, opening up, and that red sauce just smacked me up the nose. And they were even better when I put them in my mouth. They were just probably the best gnocchi I've ever had. One of the best Italian dishes. I'm sure it was high on our list of Italian dishes. And the sauce was just, and the sausage and the sauce, it all came together. It was just, so I went again a couple of years ago, and like, you go to a restaurant, you have like just a once in a lifetime dish. You go back a couple of years later, it's never going to be the same. It's always going to be a letdown. No, it wasn't in this case. It was just
lived up to the memory.
It was just as good. But the homemade sangria, which I did not try, let the record show that.
See, Pete's always adamant about this. If a spot's known for sangria, I'm gonna sip it. It's work, baby. You mentioned the burrata, the burrata ravioli.
Ravioli, yep.
God, I want burrata.
There's not enough burrata. If I was governor, maybe I could throw in my name at the last second.
Yeah,
but
you
if
got
I
a couple
was
days.
governor, I'd give the people a choice. But burrata would be on every, at least Italian restaurant menu, because there's something about it. It's just so creamy and rich. And oh man,
put it in ravioli. That's that's a very unique, interesting, inventive way to
brought on
deliver
pizza.
it.
Put it on your Cheerios for all I care. I mean, it's just so,
Burrata Cheerios from Pete Genovese.
Yes,
part of a balanced breakfast
here's
in New
the
Jersey.
Recipe. But the DePaulo's, Pensgrove.
We got to get there. Number 2, 15 Fox Place in Jersey City. Previously number 1 on the list. And you could make the case for number 1 still. It is another one of these spots that just completely singular. You're not going to have an experience like this anywhere else. 15 Fox Place is in the Budnick's family home. They used to live there. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, so I'm going to say that. I'm going to start that over. We might cut that, James. So 15 Fox Place was owned by this lovely Italian family. And now, let me see if I can look it up real quick. But I don't want
The family name?
But I think it's
Budinich.
Budinich. All right, Budinich. So 15 Fox Place. The Budinich family used to live there, and they ran their catering business out of there, and they would have tastings with their customers, with their clients. And eventually, that people were saying, this is so good, the food's so good, we love eating here, why can't we just turn this into a restaurant? And they did. They turned their house into a restaurant. It's literally homemade Italian food. And there's no menu here, and there's lots of leftovers here because it is a multi-course feast. Talk about the polenta arrabbiata, which is insanely good. The chicken roulade, their famous salad in like a bread box. I don't even know what that is, but it's so good. Every single thing I like. Oh, the spaghetti, the pasta al limone was insane. It's just the pizza fritas, the Italian long hots with breadcrumbs on their homemade potato chips. I could talk about this all day. It's a very hard table to get. It's a very hard reservation. It seems like every time NJ.com puts them on the list, it gets even harder to get a table. Weird how that works. But it's a perfect special occasion place. If you like, right before my sister got married, my family and I wanted to get together and celebrate, and we were able to snag a table at 15 Fox Place, and it was worthy of the celebration. Truly home cooked, like home style Italian food. It's unlike anything I've had in New Jersey, and that is saying something. But number 1, Pete. Number 1 is you. We got Cafe 2528 in Atlantic City. I have not yet been able to get a table here. What can you tell me about Cafe 2528?
Well, first of all, we did this best statewide Italian restaurant showdown 7-8 years ago. Had 50 restaurants, which I visited. I narrowed it down to 10, visited all 10 of those. Mentioned Augustino's earlier. And I picked Cafe 2825 as the best. Chef Vola's, if you say best Italian restaurant in Atlantic City, 9 out of 10 people are going to say Chef Vola's, and that's fine. It's a one, you have to go there. It's a once in a lifetime maybe experience. But I think Cafe 2825 has better food. It's not a big place. It's a bar up front. Reservation's not easy to come by, but inside tip, you can sit at the bar, which is just inside the restaurant, and order food there.
Okay.
So you don't have
love eating at the bar.
If you don't have a restaurant, sit at the bar. They finished high on our list of best chicken parm. It's just they carve the Parmesan Reggiano at tableside. Yeah, how many places do that? It's just. And 2825 is the address on Atlantic Avenue. It's right by the Trop. So it's obviously what I consider the best Italian restaurant in New Jersey. Yeah.
You just saying the Trop sent a shiver down my spine because it reminded me of all the times I've lost money at the Trop. Usually on trips to Atlantic City for work when I went to a restaurant, had a great meal, and then ruined my night by losing money playing blackjack. But I mean, you think Atlantic City, you think food. There's a bunch of great restaurants here, but 2825. I mean, that chicken parm sounds insane. And what I love about Pete Genovese is not afraid to cut through the bullshit. Pete Genovese is not afraid to cut through the BS and say, nah, everyone's going to say Chef Olo's the best, but Cafe 2825 is better. This man knows.
But then go to both. Go to both. They're two totally different experiences.
Mm-hmm. You wrote about one thing, the one thing you need to try, Pete, and it wasn't the chicken parm. It wasn't a salad. What's the best dessert at Cafe 2825?
Was it the
coconut cream cheesecake, man?
Yeah. It comes back to me now. That was so good.
I love coconut cream anything. I love cheesecake.
Yeah, that coconut. Put the lime in the coconut. Put them all around.
And make it a cheesecake. That sounds devastatingly delicious.
Rigatoni bolognese is made our list of best Italian dishes. It's just,
Pete, that rounds out the best Italian restaurants in New Jersey. That was a fun list. I'm so hungry. Before we wrap up, I have a fun idea.
Vending machine right outside there.
They don't have any chicken parm in there. I looked. We're gonna do an Italian dish draft, Pete. We're gonna go back and forth picking. We're gonna build our ultimate plate of New Jersey Italian food. We're gonna pick 4 each. You get the first pick. With the first pick in the New Jersey Italian dish draft, what would you take?
Oh boy.
No pressure.
The gnocchi at DiPaolo's. I mean, it's just, gnocchi to my mind is probably the most underrated Italian dish. I mean, who talks about gnocchi online? Nobody does, except us. And it could be, and it's not an easy dish. Anybody can cook spaghetti, linguine, etc. They're dumplings, so they have to be soft,
very delicate,
but they can't be too soft.
Mm-hmm.
Like any dumpling, you can't be all like mushy and stuff. But they're the gnocchi at DiPaolo's in Pensgrove.
With my pick. My first pick in the Italian with my first pick in the New Jersey Italian dish draft, I'm gonna take the chicken savoy from Belmont Tavern. I still remember the first time I saw it when it came to my table, and I couldn't believe it tasted as good as it looked. It is this very wild combination of succulent and crispy, tender yet crunchy. It has the right vinegar bite. I mean, you give me that thing on the bone, I'm gonna be gnawing on it. It's that delicious, and it's worth the trip to Belmont Tavern alone. Pete, with the next pick in the draft, who would you take?
Let's go back to Augustino's and that pork chop. Pork chop is not considered a Italian dish as such, but it's on every Italian restaurant menu pretty much. The pork chop, the veal chop. I mean, those are Italian restaurant standards, even if they're not classically Italian. But that pork chop, I still remember that sucker coming to my table. It was so just loaded with the onions and the peppers and the whatever else was on it, and it was just a huge piece. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but tender as the night. It was just really superb.
Got to get there. My next pick in the draft, I would take that polenta arrabbiata from 15 Fox Place. Of all the amazing things I had at that meal, that thing stood out to me. It's this creamy polenta topped with a spicy meat sauce. I've had plenty of polenta. I've had plenty of spicy meat sauce. I've never had them together. Maybe I'm just missing out. But it was incredibly comforting. It was like there was so much food at that meal, and I tried to pace myself. I wanted to have leftovers. There were no leftovers of the polenta. I licked the bowl. It was so good. It was satisfying, like very, very, just like talk about all this Italian. It is like the ultimate comfort food in a genre of comfort food. Pete, you got 2 more picks. What's your next one?
I mentioned it before, the antipasta Siciliano at Zeppeli in Collinswood. I mean, that's, antipasta like gnocchi, another dish that doesn't get its proper due, I don't think. Because people think, your antipasto, your typical Italian restaurant, it's got the, peppers, olives, tomatoes. It's kind of boring. It's like the same thing all over again. But Joey Baldino at Zeppeli, it's very, the olives are imported or they're not the usual olives. Tomatoes, they might be Jersey tomatoes, but he's got a lot of different, not ordinary antipasto ingredients in that. Really makes it special. Best antipasto in the state.
I gotta get that. My next pick is a restaurant that it was number 11 on our list of the best Italian restaurants in New Jersey. Cordo in Jersey City, which a lot of people's favorite restaurant in the city. It's a great restaurant, and their menu changes a lot, but one thing that is always on the menu is the rigatoni with pancetta, Calabrian chili, basil, and mint. I hadn't had a pasta yet, so I felt like it was time to get one. That blend, that balance of spicy and sweet with perfectly al dente pasta, man. If you overcook your pasta and you're in an Italian restaurant, and Cordo never does this, trust me, they know what they're doing up there. But if you overcook your pasta, like I'm walking out the door. I mean, I'm going to pay my bill, but I'm walking out the door pretty upset because cooking the pasta to the proper temperature is as important as everything.
How about if it's too al dente?
I rather have it too firm than too chewy or too soft. But that's just me. Pete, what's your last pick in the dish draft?
I'm going South Jersey again. We pay attention to South Jersey.
We sure do,
and we're the only ones, only statewide, only state food website, whatever, that covers the entire frickin' state, all 21 counties, 565 municipalities. We've been there. You name it, we've been there, and I can tell you where to eat. But let's go back to the veal chop, the bone-in veal chop at Botto's in Swedesboro. Again, another hunky, I call it an amazing piece of meat, worth every penny because it was like $40 or so. But it was just, you go just look at the picture. Botto's veal chop and my name, Google that and you'll see what it looks like. And Swedesboro's a nice little food town. The bakery there. But Botto's Italian line, and they make you go into your local supermarket, wherever it is in New Jersey, and you'll see their sausage, Botto's sausage.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet and spicy. I'm a spicy guy, of course.
Yeah, you are.
But so they are, they're far from the traditional Italian restaurant, but that veal chop is heavenly.
My last pick, I'm gonna go dessert because I haven't got sweet yet. A restaurant that we didn't mention, but came in at number 41 on the list, Fiorentini in Rutherford, a newer spot on the list. Not newer for an addition and newer just opened a few years ago. I was impressed by everything I had there. The pasta was stellar, but the rosemary panna cotta, let me tell you, was served with peach chutney and vanilla ice cream. I love panna cotta. It's one of my favorite desserts, and I've had some really good ones across the state. I've never had it quite like this. The rosemary, that savory herbaceous note crested so well with the creaminess of the panna cotta. And the peach chutney, it all came together marvelously. It was delicious. It was beautiful. If you go to Fiorentini, you got to get it. So that wraps up the Italian dish draft, Pete. You thought you were done, but not quite. We got to run you through the Garden State Gauntlet, Italian edition. I know you're ready. Let's do it. Pete, what's your favorite Italian dish overall? Just like type of dish.
Let me go with linguine, and specifically linguine number 7 from DiCecco, which is the best pasta. Don't argue with me.
I was going to ask you what your favorite pasta shape is, so that's your favorite pasta shape.
Yeah, linguine, the number 7. It's just something. All their pastas are so, Actually, and let me give a tie. Bucatini, the thick pasta. I love that with meatballs or sausage. There's something about that sort of thickish. So the linguine and the bucatini is a tie.
What is the one Italian dish you're sick of?
Maybe. I hate to say this. Maybe ravioli.
Really?
Because it's so. I'm waiting for like a stand. I'm waiting for a ravioli that knocks me off my feet. And I'm not quite sure I've ever had that. I've been to enough places of, world famous ravioli. No one makes it better. Yeah, well, stop it. Stop.
I think Spirito's was kind of an overrated restaurant in Elizabeth. I know
agree.
I'll get crushed for that.
Agree.
I loved I love their ravioli. I think you and I were you like the pizza. I thought the pizza was okay. Love the ravioli, but Ravioli is delicious when it's done right. I think it's hard to. A lot of places overcook it. It's also the kind of thing I could just make at home. Chicken parm, overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Why?
I mean, and we just did this list a couple of months ago. And best chicken parm is me, you, and a couple of the other food writers. I just think I keep reading, and I think we offered this as such. You know, chicken parm is like one of the iconic Jersey Italian restaurant dishes. Like who came up with that? Iconic. It's usually you go to a typical Italian restaurant menu. It's sort of like hidden down there somewhere. It's never at the top. You know, restaurant you go on the Facebook page, they never say, "Oh, we make the best chicken parm." I just think cheese on chicken, it just does on fried chicken just doesn't float my boat. And cheese steak, fine. That's fine. Those two go together. Chicken cheese steak or regular cheesesteak, but don't put cheese on my chicken.
I love chicken parm. I mean, I think that it's overdone. I mean, and it's also, I don't know. I'd say you've had one, you've had them all. That's not true, but there is a lot of mediocre, middle of the pack chicken parm, and nothing bums me out more than a night where I'm excited to have one and it just doesn't deliver. It just bums me out. Pete, what is the most underrated Italian restaurant in New Jersey?
Underrated. I'm going to go, I mentioned them before several times, DiPaolo's in Penns Grove. I mean, they get outside of Salem County, maybe Cumberland. I don't think anyone's really ever heard of it. It is at the end of Jersey on that side, the southwestern side, but it's, they need, just more attention. I'm glad to give it to them.
What's the most overrated Italian restaurant in New Jersey?
I would say Pete and Aldo's, but they're not Italian restaurants.
Yeah, it's pizzeria.
I don't know why they keep coming up.
Yeah.
Overrated? Maybe Chef Vola's. I mean, they are high on our list, but again,
you can
Cafe
still
28,
be good. You can be overrated and still be good.
Yeah. Cafe 28, 25 just beats them on every level. So I'm going to say Chef Vola. But again, I said it before. I mean, it's an essential Jersey food experience.
What one sec. Where are we at? What now closed New Jersey Italian restaurant do you miss the most?
It wasn't a classic restaurant. It was sort of sub shop / restaurant, but Voltaco's in Ocean City had been around forever, and the owner who took over from his parents, he just decided he had enough. He wanted to get out of the food business.
It happens.
So, yeah.
It's a tough business, man.
That's a story. The last 5 years, especially, all these restaurants closing left and right, diners, restaurants, all that. But Voltaco's in Ocean City, really, really good subs and some surprisingly good Italian dishes.
What's one thing New Jersey gets wrong about Italian food? Is there anything?
That it's all red sauce. I mean, there are other sauces out there. So even though I'm a red sauce guy, because I see that, reference a lot of times, just Googling stuff. What's the best red sauce restaurant? Like, we're more than red sauce Italians. Come on.
If you're only getting red sauce stuff, I mean, like, there's a time and place.
You're missing out.
But you can also make a good red sauce at home. Like that, like red sauce joint is. I don't think that's like a.
It's almost like a put down.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's not. It is and it isn't, because I mean, if you're a red sauce joint, I know exactly what you're making. I know exactly what I'm getting, and you've seen this kind of rise in like new school spots that are trying to be that, and often they fail. And I really don't want to pay $30 for spaghetti with marinara sauce, like when I could make it for like $3 at home. But alas, Pete, if you could have one last Italian meal in New Jersey, where are you going? What are you having?
Where am I going? Domino's. No, just kidding.
And that's the end of Jersey's Best podcast, everybody. We're canceled. If Pete ever says he likes Domino's,
Italian meal. Why is it my last meal? Am I heading to?
You're moving out of state.
The gas chamber.
No.
Okay.
You're Pete. Come on. No. Pete, you are immortal. No, you're leaving.
Wrong.
You're moving for good. That's
okay.
All. Got grim.
So specific restaurant, specific dish.
Yeah. We talked about a few today.
Let's go to. It's tough. I'd want to order from like 20 different restaurants and have them all, do them all in one night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about the linguine at Lunello?
Oh.
Yeah, because again, just like the shrimp scampi at Vic's, it's a simple dish, simple classic dish, but perfectly executed. It just had everything going for it. So, Lunello, I'm heading over anytime now.
Pete, this was a blast as always. Where can people find your work? Where can they read you? Where can they follow you, et cetera, et cetera?
So Twitter, Pete at Pete Genovese. We have a food website, Jersey Eats. If you're not depending on our stellar recommendations, you can always go on that Facebook page and I'm going to New Brunswick tomorrow. Where should I eat? So you can, and people will immediately jump in because they're from all over the state. So restaurant recommendations is a good place. And I just started, actually, we're celebrating my year anniversary of my weekly food newsletter, Jersey's Secret Sauce, which has nothing to do with sauce, but it's sort of every week, every Thursday at noon. I spotlight a under the radar restaurant, chef, dish, whatever place I'm not going to write about places everyone's already heard of. I'm not going to write about
the deep cuts.
I'm not going to write about the Reservoir Tavern. I'm not going to write about Vic's or Pete and Elda's. Everybody knows about these places. So today's, again, every Thursday at noon, today's was a place called Grits and Grace in Bayville, right across from the fabled Bayville dinosaur. It may be I called it the eggiest, or one of the eggiest restaurants in New Jersey, because the whole menu is freaking eggs. Sandwiches, platters, omelets, etc. Benedicts. There's others, there's burgers and everything else, but no one does eggs quite like them. So Grits and Grace, Route 9, Bayville.
Follow Pete everywhere. The Secret Sauce newsletter is incredible. And if you tweet at Pete, he will tweet back at you. That's one thing I love about Pete's Twitter presence. Pete, thank you again so much. Thank you to our audio producer, James Shapiro, our video producer, Dwayne Uzaro, and our executive producer, Bobby Olivier. Thank you to Schmutzadelis for our theme song. If you have questions, episode ideas, guest suggestions, thoughts at all, email us at jerseysbestpodcast@gmail.com. Remember to like, subscribe, follow wherever you get your podcasts. Really important. We're still a new podcast. And please consider subscribing to NJ.com. There's a link in the episode notes. New Jersey needs high-quality journalism, and our journalists need you. Tune in again next week for the latest episode of Jersey's Best Podcast. And remember, Jersey forever.